He freed every single one of us.
I say today, Mandela is a very, very good man.
This country, you know, we were prepared to see the most incredible race war erupt.
There comes a time that you either succumb or you fight back.
I felt so humbled to be part of such bravery.
When he walked out of jail, we didn't even know we were crying.
The whole world just came to a standstill.
We never imagined that Mandela is going to be a president, that I'm going to be a member of parliament.
Happily, I lived long enough to experience a change.
Mandela represents an image of possibility.
You still had the capacity to produce.
And that is clips from the documentary 21 Icons, and you can see more of that on WSJ.com. But now we turn to someone who was inspired by Nelson Mandela. It's Robert Johnson. He's the founder of Black Entertainment Television, BET, better known as, and he joins us now on the phone. Mr. Johnson, clearly a great loss here. How did Nelson Mandela inspire you?
Well, he inspired me like he did many African Americans, because he was an extension of our civil rights movement, and many of the young African Americans that who were not part of the civil rights movement in the U.S. wanted to join in the anti-apartheid movement, and the whole Not Play Sun City music effort and everything. And so that was the inspiration of President Mandela and the ANC in fighting the same battle for freedom and equal opportunity and equal rights voting in a country in which they were the largest population. So clearly, it was something that resonated with African Americans here, and myself particularly. And then when I had the chance to meet President Mandela and meet with him on several occasions, it just reinforced my idea and my belief that this is a great man with a great cause. And he had this unshakable belief in what he was doing was right and righteous. And
Robert, it was right and righteous, and he very much steered clear of wanting to exact revenge. A very forgiving man. Very hard to do that when he spent so long in very awful jail in South Africa. Is he still an icon to inspire young people who perhaps don't remember when he was incarcerated for all those years?
Yeah, I think on sort of in a symbolic way. Obviously, they were not a part of all the protests and marches and all the things that Randall Robinson, who was a Trans-Africa, did, and fasting, and all the entertainers who got engaged in opposing apartheid. But I think the greatness of President Mandela, which people have to understand, not only was it the forgiveness of the apartheid regime that oppressed the millions of black South Africans, but to me the most important thing about President Mandela is his recognition that you could not have racial reconciliation without solving the economic equation of who would control the assets in South Africa after apartheid was dismantled. He did not advocate a wholesale confiscation of the property rights of white South Africans, even though they had oppressed and denied blacks the opportunity. By creating the belief and the actual policy that we will transition to a democratic system, but we will recognize property rights and recognize the need to sustain the free market concept of how to make South Africa better for both blacks and whites. Had he gone on and said, we're going to seize every property owned by white South Africans, I don't believe South Africa would have gone into the kind of reconciliation and transformation into a free democracy for both blacks and whites without a huge amount of civil and revolutionary unrest.
Yeah, I think that's a very reasonable conclusion. Thank you very much, Robert Johnson, founder of BET. We appreciate your time, sir.